And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra-biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew. And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra-biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew.
Right.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra-biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew.
Right.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra-biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew.
Right.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra-biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens, the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew.
Right.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra-biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens, the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew.
Right.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra-biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens, the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew.
Right.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra-biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens, the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew.
Right.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra-biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens, the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew.
Right.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra-biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens, the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew.
Right.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra-biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens,
Here says,
the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew.
right.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra-biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens,
Here says,
the language that God employed, that he
this. All right. How's that? Is that better? Make sure. Let's see if this is any better. Just make some adjustments. I see that looks like there's some adjustments there. It says the commercial's playing over and over again. All right. Better, yes. Fixed. Awesome. All praises. Yes. All right. Thank you, Deacon. Thank you, everybody on the tech side. I appreciate it. Right? Much better. Perfect. Good sound. Praise the Father. All right, brothers and sisters, we're going to go into a discussion on the Feast of Dedication. As brothers and sisters, we're celebrating it throughout the four corners of the earth. I have a very, very special announcement at how the day is going to go. So, brothers and sisters, as you come in, hit that like button, because, brothers and sisters, I want you all to know how this day is going to flow, right? Good now. Praise the Most High, right? So, as you can see, I'm here live from the Church of Philadelphia, right? About to do the lesson on the Feast of Dedication. However, the elders will be going live today, this afternoon, brothers and sisters. So we're going to be celebrating the Feast of Dedication from the East Coast and in the West Coast, right? So I'm on now, and Elder Ricard Shiar and Elder Lawyer, you will see them from the West Coast right around maybe 5 or 6, give or take. But Eastern Standard Time, 5 or 6, the elders will be live celebrating the Feast of Dedication in the West Coast. So we're going to have what? A celebration all day, right, concerning the Most High's feast, right? So real quick, let me give another quick announcement as we do these announcements weekly. Keep in mind, brothers and sisters, enrollment is open for the Hebrew and Bible Academy, right? This academy's theme is Beyond 2025, Hope After Armageddon, right? The academy lessons, right, that we'll be covering this particular academy is how Israel prepared to leave Egypt in the wilderness. That's deep because that's actually relevant based on what's about to happen soon, right? How the Israelites lost Jerusalem, right? I guess it's going to be an in-depth look into Josephus, right? Ishmael, the silent enemy of the Israelites, right? And Jews, an in-depth lesson of the synagogue of Satan. And brothers and sisters, you really want to be enrolled for this one. AI, the technology and the days of Noah. Brothers and sisters, the new academy starts Sunday, December the 14th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You want to get in it, enroll, go to historytimes.org to enroll, brothers and sisters, right? Keep in mind, the academy, you'll learn more in the academy in that one particular whole cycle than you probably ever learned all your years in the Christian church, brothers and sisters. Get in it, enroll, Hebrew and Bible Academy, right? GatheringofChrist.org, historytimes.org, historytimes.org, and enroll, right? Praise the Father for the academy. So we're going to pivot and go into our lesson to start our celebration for the Feast of Dedication, right? Now, as you can see, brothers and sisters, right, the title of the lesson, the Feast of Dedication, the true winter holiday. Now, why am I saying a true winter holiday, right? Now, brothers and sisters, this is the time of year, right, where everyone all over seem to be drunk with the spirit of pagan holiday, whether it be Thanksgiving, whether it be Christmas, these things. But brothers and sisters, I got to ask you a clear question. Why is that? Why is that? Why is it that there's actually holy days written of in the Bible and then holidays celebrated around the same time that we have holy days of the Bible, right? Well, brothers and sisters, let me open up with a precept first, right? Let's open up our Bibles to the book of Isaiah, right? Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, starting at verse 12. Let's all turn there. Because I want to show you, brothers and sisters, that there always has to be a counterfeit. To muddy the waters, to deceive the people, right? To fool the masses one way or the other. But as the title of the lesson says, this is the true winter holiday. And I think Elder went into it. The Elder went into it last week when we were in Connecticut about the counterfeits. And brothers and sisters, you have to understand that a lot of times they're just laughing in our faces. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you, I was going to go into the celebration of Sinterklaas, not Santa Claus. Sinterklaas and Swarty Pete. That's Swarty Pete. Brothers and sisters, that's poking fun at the children of Israel. Lo and behold, most people, most Christians don't know out there that while Christmas is being celebrated, okay, the Gentiles are running in the street with blackface, okay, and sitting there celebrating, saying we're the elves that take the bad children to hell. Look it up on your own time, brothers and sisters. It's deep, right? But I want to tell you the counterfeits, brothers and sisters, starting with the counterfeit of all counterfeits, which is Satan, right? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, starting at verse 12. Go ahead, Deacon.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thy heart,
What did Lucifer say?
I will ascend into heaven.
He said, I will ascend into heaven.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
I will exalt my throne among the stars of God.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation,
Come on.
in the sides of the north.
Read.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
Go ahead.
I will be like the Most High.
So this is what Satan said. He said he would try to emulate or be like the Most High. So that shows that when we're doing something, when the Romans, when the Gentiles and all that, the enemies that serve, right? They'll put up holidays, no gods, and all types of counterfeits to muddy the waters. Well, this is Satan's MO, right? When things go in the earth, I'm going to actually present a counterfeit so that it'll kind of make it so that it's hard for people to see what the true holy day is, or even what the truth is, right? So I wanted to open up with that particular preset to set the stage. Brothers and sisters, now it's time. Let's open up with the prayer and the Shema, right? Ahaya, Asher, Ahaya, Ba'ashem Yeshaya, will walk. Repeat after me. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Shema, Yashra Allah, Ahaya, Elahaya Nawa, Ahaya, Achad. Shema, Yashra Allah, Ahaya, Elahaya Nawa, Ahaya, Achad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Let's give the Most High some praise throughout the four quarters of the earth, right? That's it. Oh, shucks. It's a celebration, right? And as I stated, brothers and sisters, leading in, Satan looks to have a counterfeit. He looks to go and capitalize on a people that haven't yet assumed their full identity, right? So while God's people are dealing with all levels of confusion, okay, Satan is looking and taking opportunity to really murky the waters, and we're going to go into it this afternoon, right? Now, let me first read this commentary, and then after that, we're going straight into the precepts. We're primarily going to be getting some history from the book of Maccabees, right? But brothers and sisters, it's that time of year again when the whole world seems to be drunk on the spirit of the fall and winter pagan holidays, with very few having a knowledge of what the Feast of Dedication even is, and fewer even keeping the feast. It can be a challenge not to celebrate the pagan days. And brothers and sisters, this is for those that are fairly new. For those that have been around, we should know, and brothers and sisters, but I'm going to tell you, To some degree, it's a battle every year. Pressure, getting those invites. People just saying come through, or sometimes just even the puppy dog eyes. Like, hey, is this the year you finally, going to put the star back on the tree? No. Right? But with much persecution, brothers and sisters, right? Much persecution can come from family and friends for celebrating something that is so foreign and far removed from their minds. Let's take a look at the importance and significance of the Feast of Dedication with the hopes that it will instill the same level of motivation and dedication as it did for our foreparents, right? And brothers and sisters, that's really what this holy day signifies. When you want to talk about the candles being lit, you want to talk about defending the temple, this whole holy day is about motivation and reinvigorating the fire, kindling the fire. Making sure, brothers and sisters, that you remember the reasons why you were called to the Most High and why you heeded the call to the Father, right? The Feast of Dedication is deep in itself. In a world now, in a time now where everybody's saying, listen, this is the reason for the season, joy, the Christmas tree, joy to the world. Brothers and sisters, there's a greater reason to celebrate, and it's not what the world would call Christmas or Thanksgiving, right? So let's go to the book of First Maccabees. The book of First Maccabees, we're going to start right at the beginning. Chapter 1, verse 1, right? We're going to get some history on the Feast of Dedication, right? Check it out, right? Let's go.
And it happened after that Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes.
So this is coming out of what? The Medo-Persian Empire and rule, right? Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, read.
And he reigned in his stead in the first over Greece.
Come on.
And made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. And he went through the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, and so much that the earth was quiet before him. Whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up.
Read.
And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him.
Read.
And after these things he fell sick.
Come on.
And perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as was honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died.
Go ahead.
And his servants bare rule every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. And so did their sons after them many years. And the evils was multiplied in the earth. And there came out a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes.
So here goes that root that came out of Alexander, the Greek. Antiochus, right? Let's go.
The son of Antiochus the king, who had been a Hoshes at Rome, and he reigned in the 112th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
Of the Greeks, right? Of the Greeks, right? Now, mind you, when you read the scriptures, when it breaks down who's confederate, right? You have Edom. You have Ishmael, right? You have different nations that are confederate amongst us, right? Here goes the Grecians, right? What now coming out of the Medo-Persian Empire, the Grecian Empire, the Roman Empire, all these different empires that would come against the children of Israel. But brothers and sisters, there's one common underlying theme, that we are the target and enemy. Now I need you to follow me here as he continues to read. Go ahead.
Verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Now, hold up. Elder touched on this last week. And this is why, brothers and sisters, it's so important to come together. Because for us to be defeated, there always has to be a traitor amongst our people. There was wicked men amongst Israel that did what? Read.
Saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Let us go and make the covenant with the heathen. Now listen to this, brothers and sisters. This is why when you see people in the world that commit certain debaucherous acts, right? We look at them sometimes and we think it's just the celebrity of it. But sometimes, brothers and sisters, sometimes they're just gatekeepers because they've made a covenant with the adversary, right? And we're going to get into it, brothers and sisters, because there's a lot of things that they do at this time. A lot of times, listen, those that are confederate amongst us, they get the top artist, they put together a music compilation, and I'm going to tell you, those Christmas albums be bad, right? Who can't go in a shopping mall now and hear Mariah Carey singing, all I want for Christmas is you, right? And I'm going to tell you, one of the things I always had to catch myself coming in was not singing Boys to Men, Let It Snow. I mean, when Brian McKnight come in that thing, man, I'm going to wrap you up. You know what I mean? Like, brothers and sisters, it be catchy. But you have to realize, brothers and sisters, for those who to some degree have been confederate with this world, with the Antiochus of this world, right, with the Alexander the Greeks of this world, have been complicit with doing what? Duping the children of Israel into what the Bible calls spiritual whoredom. Right? Every year, brothers and sisters, your top artists are going to drop an album to draw the people in. You can't get a celebration without Israel. Right? Let's go.
Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward therein, that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
See, so hold up now. Speaking about those who are handlers and gatekeepers. They gave them license to do heathenistic ordinances over what was supposed to be righteous. See? Read.
Wherein they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the custom of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
Now, here's the thing, brothers and sisters. What did they do? Just like they do now. They like to put all the distractions on around this time. Right? A Christmas Story, Ralphie. Right? The Grinch That Stole Christmas. Right? Football games. Right? All of this is part of the holiday cheer. But see, brothers and sisters, they never expected the miracle of the awakening of the children of Israel. They never expected that even though that stuff would be going on, eventually, those that face adversity and are willing to serve the Most High would come out of that programming. And brothers and sisters, you all are a testament of coming out of that programming. I'm going to tell you right now, that's why you're sitting here today. right? A total miracle, because you couldn't tell me, brothers and sisters, you couldn't tell me at any particular time that I wasn't going to have my white Christmas tree. You understand? I'm talking about, man, I had me a nice, that thing was white. It had just the gold ornaments, you know, because when I grew up, you know, my mom, she would put all the colors on. And I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm doing like the rich folk in the magazine, right? White, silver, gold. That's it. Shimmering things, nice lights. Had that thing color coordinated. Had the white and silver skirt at the bottom. You know what I mean? Super pagan. Huh? But they never expected someone like me, someone like you, to wake up and break out of your programming. See? So what do they do? And we're going to show you, brothers and sisters, within these scriptures, that what do they do once you break out of your programming? They start to get angry. So now they start punishing the people. Sound familiar? That's what they just did. Oh, I'm going to cut food stamps off. I'm going to shut the government down. Right? Because they know that the programming, brothers and sisters, from the children of Israel is listen, it's about to be done. It's about over. Even if you talk to your average, everyday Christian brothers and sisters, they know that Christmas isn't biblically inspired at all. Right? What verse are you at, sir?
Verse 15.
Read verse 15, and then we're going to go to Jeremiah 10:1.
And made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
And sold to do mischief. Hit that like button, brothers and sisters, as you come in. You want to drive traffic on into this feast of dedication. As I stated before, the elders will be live this afternoon, right after this particular broadcast, in between 5 and 6. So we're going to be celebrating the Feast of Dedication all day long on this channel, right? Breaking all the lies and breaking down what? All those things that Satan put out there, and we're showing what the true holy days concerning the Bible are all day today on this channel, right? Let's go now to the book of Jeremiah. Right? Chapter 10, verse 1. Because, brothers and sisters, we can't worry about what the heathens are doing. Because the way the world flows and the way everything is, it all hinges upon the children of Israel and what we do as God's chosen people. So understand what we're about to read in Jeremiah, the 10th chapter, right? We're in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, starting at verse 1. Let's go.
Hear ye the word of the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Come on.
Thus says the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
So, in the book of Jeremiah, the prophet said for us to learn not the way of the heathen. So this is key. Remember, we just read in Maccabees, the first chapter, how our people consent to the ways of the heathen and begin to say, hey, I'm going to give you license to worship and do all abominable things on this day. You see, brothers and sisters, how it takes us to comply for their agenda to go through? Brothers and sisters, if all Israel would come together and realize what time we're in, when the holy days are, and to celebrate them together, brothers and sisters, this whole world would crumble. But they're just banking on the fact that the majority are still in the matrix, are fooled. Right? Go ahead.
Thus says the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Learn not the way of the heathen. Now, what's the way of the heathen, D?
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain, for they cut the tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman, with the axe.
See, and here's the thing. This should have resonated with all preachers and pastors that have ever read the Bible. Right? This don't sound familiar. I'm going to show you, brothers and sisters, how there's no way that the preacher or the pastor missed this point. This says here, we're in Jeremiah 10:3. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth the tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. Verse 4.
They deck it with silver and gold.
Now, y'all know that old song, silver and gold, silver and gold. That's the Edomite version. Then we talk, I'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold. Boy, we could remix something. But nonetheless, brothers and sisters, the correlation's right here in Jeremiah, the 10th chapter. Somebody religious, somebody spiritual should have over the years run into this and seen this and say, wait, hold up, let me put a pen in this. Right? For the customs of the heathen is, verse 4.
They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with the hammer, that it move not.
That it move not, right? Read a little further in there.
They are upright as the palm tree.
So they're upright as the palm tree, right? So they're giving you a comparison. The Christmas tree is upright like the palm tree. Read.
But it speak not.
But guess what? Just like what we learned about with Abraham and Terah and all them idols, the same thing over, on and on and on with these idols. They speak not. They can't do anything. Okay? Matter of fact, brothers and sisters, there's more death, and this is part of the ritual. There's more death and destruction around this time. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. There's more death and destruction around this time than really, brothers and sisters, around any other time of the year. People go missing, allegedly. Accidents. People get drunk at New Year's, don't make it home. People get sauced up December 25th, don't make it home. But they're counting on that, brothers and sisters. Because why? There's a grand wizard at the top of all of this. Hoping that there's souls, that there's spirits that are part of the ritual. Whether they're knowing or unknowing. And I'm going to tell you, brothers and sisters, listen, you send these broadcasts to your family. I'm going to tell you. Send these broadcasts to your family. Okay? Because, brothers and sisters, the curtain is pulled back. Read.
Verse 5. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must need to be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Neither also is it in them to do good.
Yeah, there's no blessing in no fake or real evergreen dying tree in your living room. It can't bless you. It can't do anything. It's an idol. Read.
Verse 6. For as much as there is none like unto thee, O Lord, thou art great, and thy name is great in the might. Who would not fear thee, O King of nations?
Now, it said the Most High's name is great. Instead of brothers and sisters going into these pagan festivals, why not find out how to uplift the name of the Most High in the holy days that he stood for? Where he set through his people, like what we're doing today, going into the Feast of Dedication. Right? Now, let's go back Let's go back. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. Right? Deuteronomy, where the curses are, Deuteronomy 28, starting at verse 14. Because remember, brothers and sisters, I spoke earlier and said, the Most High is looking at his chosen people. This is why this stuff is able to be for the world to be undertook with. Because the children of Israel support it. Now, this is what the Most High said. Deuteronomy 28 and 14. Go ahead.
And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after gods and serve them.
To go after gods and serve them. This is what the Most High said not to do. Don't go after anything strange. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments in his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So all the curses shall overcome and overtake thee. Right? Now, here it is, brothers and sisters. Because we were complicit. And when I say we, I'm talking about at some time in our lifetime, at some time we were complicit with following the holidays according to the Romans and pagans. So what happened? The curses overtook us. Right? Poverty, issues. Okay? Brothers and sisters, all the things that you read of in the curses of Deuteronomy is associated, brothers and sisters, with the gods that we chose to submit under. See? And it's important, brothers and sisters, that we highlight this now, knowing what's about to go down. Living in a time of Jacob's trouble. So as we transition out of these so-called pagan holidays, or the pagan holidays, and we move into the holy days concerned and written of in the Bible, now what comes? Protection. The Most High putting his hedge over you and your family. Making sure that you are safe from one situation to the next. Because, brothers and sisters, it's not a if, it's a when the next global event happens. It's a when. So what separates you from those who won't be protected within those times? Right? Well, it said right here in Deuteronomy. It said, read it again, verse 15. Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Go ahead.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
That all these curses shall overcome thee and overtake thee. Deep in itself. Right? Now, brothers and sisters, let's look. Let's get the next record here as we look into some more history. Right? Let's go. We're going to resume the story in Maccabees, First Maccabees, right? First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 20, right? Maccabees 1 and 20. Why we here celebrating the Feast of Dedication? Why is it being proclaimed throughout the four corners of the earth? Right? First Maccabees 1 and 20. Let's go.
And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again in 143rd year and went up against Israel at Jerusalem with a great multitude.
Come on.
And he entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar and the candlestick of lights.
Now you see how it said he entered in the sanctuary proudly. This is what happens, brothers and sisters, when we give the Gentiles some level of validation. Okay? And this is why Paul was saying not to boast against the natural branch. Because eventually, brothers and sisters, what happens is when we open up the door for these nations to be, to get some level of what? Okay? Some level of pride, some level of I'm in charge. They begin to do the same things we seen here. Just like when we looked at the festival that was being celebrated last week. Did y'all watch the broadcast last week? They taking the dung and they throwing it at each other and they spreading it all over. Brothers and sisters, they would never tell you this is how they celebrate some of their feasts. So coming over here, brothers and sisters, why is it, okay, that they can come over and get a full ride, or come over and get a scholarship, or come over and get a loan, or come over and get this place, and now they're running things in our neighborhood? Because there's a collusion and them being complicit against the children of Israel. Right? So here it goes, Antiochus. It says he had smitten Egypt. He didn't come back. Now, because our people allowed him, right, access to do pagan things and come back in the temple, he coming back now in the temple bold. Right? Read.
Verse 21. He entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar and the candlesticks of light and all the vessels thereof, and the table of showbread, and the pouring vessels, and the vessels, and the censers of gold, and the veil, and the crown, and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off.
Now, if you look at these things, right, the showbread, because the showbread reminds you of the Levite priests, the candlestick, the crown, that reminds you of Judah in the rulership. All these things that you see that Antiochus pulled down, these were all reminders and things that let us know who we are. Because brothers and sisters, when you look at these holidays compared to what it is, I seen somebody on, I think, TikTok breaking it down. And just breaking down the fact that if they were talking to Christ, how they would explain themselves celebrating Christmas. That was a deep discussion. You take all these practices and then you was to go before Christ and say, well, look, I did this because of you. That would be a huge disappointment and letdown, because our Savior never said to do any of these things. Right? Verse 22.
Verse 22.
We're in 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 22. Go ahead.
The tables of the showbread, and the pouring vessels, and the vials, and the censers of gold, and the veil, and the crown, and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off. He took also the silver and gold, and the precious vessels. Also he took the hidden treasures which he found. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre, and had spoken very proudly. Therefore there was a great mourning in Israel, in every place where they were, so that the princes of the elders mourned, and the virgins and the young men were made feeble, and the beauty of the women was changed.
Go ahead.
The bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness.
Those that were waiting for the marriage, the consummation, were in heaviness. Why? Because the things that we looked to do when it came to celebrating in respect of a holy day, we weren't able to do. Read.
The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. And after 2 years fully expired.
Now that's deep, right? That's deep, Deacon, that you say that. It said all the house of Jacob were in utter confusion. That sounds familiar. That sounds like modern time. That sounds like the time we live in. Hey, son, where you going? Well, I'm going to Shabbat to celebrate the Feast of Dedication. Well, you going to be at Thanksgiving dinner? I don't know about that. You know, I don't. You going to be at Christmas dinner? Oh, no. I mean, you want to talk about a people that are disarray and in utter confusion. And notice, brothers and sisters, the target is the children of Israel. Because the Gentiles, they don't mind. Okay? Now, listen, we're in Philadelphia, or this is the Church of Philadelphia, right? And you know Philadelphia is highly populated with Muslims. But you tell me what Muslims don't celebrate Christmas. Huh? Now, why is that? Why, if this is a whole different God, okay, in Isa, okay, is just a prophet, but he's not the main prophet, Isa, who they call Christ. Well, why is it that Muslims celebrate Christmas? It shows you, brothers and sisters, that all the nations are complicit. It doesn't matter, brothers and sisters. You could go certain places and it's all types of brothers and all types of nations celebrating Christmas in some form or fashion. Because those gods are accepted. Those worships are accepted. But when it comes, brothers and sisters, to doing what's right, guess what? They're not closing Dunkin' down for the Feast of Dedication. Okay? Remember, America runs on Dunkin'. And the East Indians own Dunkin', so what does that say? Is America run by the East Indians? Lord, have mercy. What's going on, brothers and sisters, when it comes down? And this is why we have to educate our people. I mean, the longer that you're in this truth, the more you understand it. The more that this is so important that we come together and defend our temples like the Maccabees did. Not to be confused with anything that's going on within the world. Verse
29. After 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spoke peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit.
Now they did what now?
And spoke peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit.
See, brothers and sisters, and this is why you can't trust what the talking heads are saying out there within the government, within the structure and the rulers of this earth. Because they've always done that. They've always talked smooth and knowing that, okay, I'm going to talk smooth to conquer. Right? Verse
30. But all was deceit, for when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore.
Y'all see that? So as soon as, see, brothers and sisters, let me break this down. This is only so that we would give in. Once we give access, now we can be conquered. Once we if we put up a front for the Most High and do what's right, then the adversary cannot conquer us. But notice how it come in with diplomacy, smooth as oil, right? We let our guard down and wham, overtaken. That is a war strategy. Because somebody sent me an article. It was like no sooner, and we still didn't see it, but listen, people are holding out hope. No sooner when they had the governmental shutdown, then they came back, they was like, oh, I seen a report, they might be releasing some more checks. So what, you back in now? You engaged again? I'm not looking for anything that the adversary is trying to do. Because brothers and sisters, all those things come with strings attached. They sent out a stimulus, around 2020 and all that. People felt like we got something and then ended up having to pay it back in taxes. Boy, oh boy, did they pull the wool over people's eyes. Then you come back and you trying to claim what you normally claim for taxes. What about, oh, well, they're not giving out as many for kid tax credits this year because they gave out the stimuluses. They're not doing this. Tax codes didn't change. So all you did was front me my own money. And how many people praise, the last Trump here, for doing something good for the people? Nah, brothers and sisters. We have to understand how to actually see these things based off of history. See? Our holy days, like this day, like the Feast of Dedication, come with meaning. Okay? Didn't come with no Resurrection Sunday or Easter baskets or Easter bunnies with eggs. Nah. This came with a real full frontal attack by the Greeks and the Romans, and us overcoming through the Spirit of the Almighty. Brothers and sisters, that's something that we're going to have to learn and something that we're going to have to prepare for going forward. See? Verse?
The middle of verse 30.
Go ahead.
For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much of the people of Israel. And when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire.
He did what?
He set it on fire.
He set it on fire. And they did, listen, 70 A.D., Nero did the same. Set it on fire. Read.
And pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side.
Come on.
But the women and children he took they captive and possessed the cattle. Then builded they a city of David with a great and strong wall, and with mighty towers, and made a stronghold for them. And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. They stored it also with armor and victuals. And when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there, and so they became a sore snare. For it was a place to lie and wait against the sanctuary, and an evil adversary to Israel. Thus they had shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary, and defiled it, and so much that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them. Whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers, and became strange to those that were born in her. And her own children left her.
Go ahead.
Her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness.
Now you see how once they conquer, they look to change the whole flow of things so that we can no longer remember our heritage. Even then, we're reading of here how when we look at Jerusalem, Jerusalem was mourning then. Like, man, like the practices and all the things that were there, worshiping and celebrating the Most High on the high holy days, was totally desecrated then. Read.
Verse 39. Her sanctuaries was made waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning.
Her feasts were turned into mourning. Just like now. Where you going around March? Passover? You talk about Easter? No. Passover. No, we not going nowhere putting on pastel suits. Passover. Passover. Yes. See, this is what the adversaries look to do. They look to take the days of the Most High and turn them into mourning. When in fact, brothers and sisters, all throughout the day, all throughout the four corners of the earth, even when these cameras go off, we're going to have music, choir, food, brothers and sisters looking regal and royal. That's not a day of mourning. That's a day of feasting and celebration. And this is why, brothers and sisters, we have to make it our duty to be able to proclaim this throughout the four corners of the earth. Because, brothers and sisters, they sure do a good job at trying to push these pagan days down our throat. So we have to be the example. Read.
The middle of verse 39. Her feast was turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
A one world government? See? Brothers and sisters, you know, listen, everybody was waiting and been waiting for the new world order. The new world order. We're living in the new world order. Especially now with the joining, brothers and sisters, of what you see is the all but certain the precursors of the image of the beast is AI. Brothers and sisters, they're doing everything they did at the Tower of Babel. They're doing everything they did before. Now AI is just like this at the tip of your hand. You're speaking to somebody in another language, you can have an earpiece on. Boom, you can have a phone next to you. It's deep in itself, brothers and sisters. Now, what do they teach in Christianity? They teach that, okay, we're waiting for one man to sit on the throne and become the Antichrist, when Christ said there were many Antichrists that lived in their time and especially in ours. We have to keep our eyes on what it is. We're almost at the finish line, brothers and sisters. We're almost there. And I'm going to tell you, this is a day that all the prophets look to see and live in. And I'm going to tell you, me personally, just growing up in church, growing up in a Pentecostal church, I never thought I would understand the book of Revelation. You understand? I never thought that I would be living in those days where I see the prophecies coming to pass. But we're here. We're here. Go ahead.
Verse 42. And everyone should leave his laws. So the heathen agree according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of Israelites consented into his religion. Salakia.
Go ahead.
Verse 43.
Yeah.
And many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
And profane the Sabbath, brothers and sisters. Huh? You brothers and sisters, that sound like the entire entertainment industry. That sound like everything we see. Outside of those who actually have the spirit of the Most High and have separated themselves. Not everyone in the entertainment industry is sold under Satan, but a vast majority of them are. Okay? This is why, brothers and sisters, everything has lost its savor. We talked about this on the ride back. We were coming back, just talking about, music and how everything then lost its savor. Okay, you talk about MCs in my day. You talk about Rakim. I'm talking about real people that could rap. You understand? People that really could go bar for bar with things. Even if you didn't like it, the positive rap. Even KRS-One, when he came out, he was telling a story. But the minute they put in the Cardi B's and the Sexy Reds, okay, and the Ice Spices, it was over. And look, brothers and sisters, the music's so bad, they didn't turn to AI. Listen, look, I don't even want humans being possessed by demons anymore. Let me just let the demons speak directly. Yeah, that's it, baby. That's the music this day. Don't forget about the people. I want the demon to sing. That's the time we live in. It's deep in itself, brothers and sisters, because what we have to understand is now that you see this world dying and being judged, we're getting closer to the judgment of the Almighty God daily. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 44. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days.
Come on.
And pollute the sanctuary and the holy people.
And brothers and sisters, this is why they try to make it so hard for you to observe the Sabbaths. And a work exemption has to be, and a religious exemption has to be submitted to your job and all this. But guess what? No one has to do a religious exemption for December the 25th. Hold up now, no. I'm making a position. If I'm working, I'm going to my boss. Like, no, you're going to open up the office on December 25th because I need my time and a half. Now, I don't got respect for that day. But it's always an issue, brothers and sisters. And notice, there got to be a compromise with us. Holy day come in, you're like, no, I need Friday even and Saturday even off. And I may need this day in observance for my holy day. Well, I'm going to need you to come in half the day, or you got to do some of it. You just can't do this. Well, this is my highest, this is the highest peak day. Listen, all due respect, I'll be here on every high peak day. But right now, I'm celebrating a holy day. There's no difference, brothers and sisters, between their tactics. They're all the same. They're all the same. Go ahead.
Verse 47. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine flesh and unclean beasts.
And you notice, brothers and sisters, how they set up everything for us to consume? Brothers and sisters, anything that's free is bad for you. Listen, I knew when you go into a CVS, a Walmart, a Giant, a supermarket, and they like, yeah, the juice is free. And I ain't talking about the one you drink. So you mean to tell me I could go into a supermarket and just get stung up? We don't even need professionals no more, huh? Just anybody from, they done went from scanning the can, boop, to right behind, boop, here you go. Have a good day. The same thing you're seeing here. Go ahead.
Verse 48. And they shall also leave the children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. And to the end that they might forget the law, and change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
He should die. And that's what, and brothers and sisters, that's what they think about those that are not following their rule. This is why you must, brothers and sisters, I must stress it. This is why you must be careful. What you do, what you consume, who you consume it by. Because brothers and sisters, they would much rather you die. Okay? So be careful, brothers and sisters. That's like, for instance, a life lesson in the midst of dedication, right? I said one day the Holy Spirit, I know they have the initiative here, they in there. The sisters is sharing bread recipes and doing all that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to learn to be full service at home. I'm going to learn to be full service. So I said, you know what? I need some mayo to go with my bread. Make me a sandwich. Brothers and sisters, education and knowledge is key. When I made the mayo, I was mortified. Because it was only about 3 or 4 ingredients. And obviously the shelf life, you should just make enough to make you a sandwich or whatever you're making now and then dispose of it. So I said, what's that stuff that's sitting on the shelf? See, the more brothers and sisters we start to tap in to working with the fruit of our own hands and dealing with things, it wakes you up to realize that, yes, the Gentiles and all the enemies that are confederate against us would rather us to die. You go in the supermarket, you turn around, oh yeah, I need some hot sauce. I need some sriracha sauce. You look on the back and there's everything in there but hot sauce, cayenne pepper, and sriracha. You have to be careful, brothers and sisters, and mindful. When you talk about defending the temple, you talk about letting these candles burn. Well, guess what? Okay? The scripture says, know ye not that you are the temple of the Holy Spirit. So it's not about defending 4 walls. It's about making sure that you as the temple of God are protected. And that's the correlation that we have to take home this afternoon based on what the Maccabees were fighting and giving their lives for. Now it's us. You have to defend, brothers and sisters, the whole deal. And that's why, brothers and sisters, when you look into the armor of God, it's deep. The helmet of salvation. Yeah, you must protect your mind from all the wicked and evil that's coming in from the adversary. The breastplate of righteousness. Yes, brothers and sisters, your heart must be circumcised with the word of the Most High and the law. So I must not deal the way that this world told me how to deal. Read.
Verse 51. In the selfsame manner wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city.
City by city. Read.
Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, everyone that forsook the law. And so they committed evils in the land, and drove the Israelites into a secret place, even wheresoever they could flee for secure.
Now, where they could flee for succor or Sabbath or Sukkoth, to dwell. So we had the brothers and sisters, when it started to get so bad within the land, and this is why it's important, brothers and sisters. I know that I know that for all of us, it takes a lot to get out of your house, into your car, drive maybe an hour, hour and a half, and come to Shabbat. But brothers and sisters, that's what it boils down to. That's just your reasonable service. Presenting your bodies as a living sacrifice. Because brothers and sisters, here you go, under this particular rule, in this time, in the time of the Maccabees, they had to actually go and find remote places to survive. Just to gather. Well, that's, brothers and sisters, we don't have to hide right now. But still, all in still, brothers and sisters, we should still have that same fortitude to know to gather together because we are dedicated to our Maker. Right? Let's jump back to Deuteronomy 28. Let's go back. Right? Y'all doing a wonderful job in this chat. Hit that like button. Y'all are really doing it. Let's get those likes up. Deuteronomy 28, and we're going to start at verse 25. So we're in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and we're at the 25th verse, right? Go ahead.
The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies.
See, because we were complicit with giving into what the pagans were willing to offer us. So it said that because we gave into thine enemies, we would be smitten. Read.
And thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them. And thou shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth, and thy carcasses shall be meat unto all the fowls of the air,
Lord,
unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. The Lord will smite thee with the bots of Egypt, and with the emeralds, and with the scab, and with the itch.
So not only from being amongst them, right, and being complicit, that we got cursed, but not only that, but sickness and disease came in, right? Hold that and skip down to Deuteronomy 28 and 49 through 50. So now we're in Deuteronomy 28 and 49. Read.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from one end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
As the eagle flieth. So we know when you look at Rome, you look at the Grecian Empire, you look at this new Roman Empire, their flag, their symbol has always been their symbol of freedom. The eagle. Right? Go ahead.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. A nation of fierce continuance. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young.
Now, is this, brothers and sisters, is this not true? Because I remember there was a particular day where you could work, and when you get to a certain age, you could do something that was called retirement. You could work at your job 20, 30 years, be on the job, and then when you get of a certain age, you can actually retire. And that was the full retirement before the Social Security benefits came in. Brothers and sisters, that don't exist now. Listen, they'll nickel and dime for everything, if not even cut you out. It used to be, okay, I worked at the bus depot for 20 years, okay, great. Now you can retire, get a full retirement. That's a partial check based on what your salary was. Now you might be what? 60, 62. You might be contemplating whether you take an early Social Security retirement. Now you get your pension and you get your Social Security benefits. So guess what? Back in the day, most people could make it off of that. But guess what? That's not the era we live in now. That's why the squeeze is in place. You see more people that are retired with part-time jobs, Ubering, okay, making this end meet, doing this, working at a Walmart. You even see sometimes older folks now working at fast food restaurants. Going back where these used to be the entryway jobs. See? Because why, brothers and sisters? The same thing you're seeing now that we're reading about in the time of Maccabees and the curses that we see according to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, are real. And the only way, brothers and sisters, you break out of your programming and end up in a situation where you could be blessed amongst is by serving the Almighty and understanding that spiritual and mental change that needs to take place. See? We think we're doing something and we're in liberty. With Thanksgiving and Christmas comes bondage. With the holy days comes freedom and liberty. See? And these are things the Most High swore. These are things the Most High said. Okay? We're back in the book of Maccabees, First Maccabees, chapter 1. Right? First Maccabees, chapter 1, we're going to start at verse 54. Right? Let's go.
Now, on the 15th day of the month Casleu, in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar, and builded an altar throughout all the cities of Judah on every side, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they had found, they burnt them with fire. And whatsoever was found with any book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put to death. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities. Now the 25th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idols altar, which was upon the altar of God.
Go ahead.
And which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women.
Now, most wouldn't realize when they do their sacrifices, right, especially when it's the 25th, when they do their sacrifices or they're celebrating their holidays, there's a sacrifice. Right? That's why when you look in certain times between October, November, December, January, you could go in your supermarket in the front, you look at your bulletin boards and all that, missing. And it's funny, right? Because you think that they're not there anymore. They're there. I was in the store the other day, and I'm looking on the front wall, and I'm seeing missing 16-year-old girl, missing 8-year-old boy, missing 12-year-old boy, missing 36-year-old woman. Brothers and sisters, this is high time to cleave to the Most High and protect your families. Because this is what the Romans do. It says here, verse 60, read it.
Verse 60, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women.
Certain women. Read.
They had caused their children to be circumcised.
Come on.
And they hanged the infants about their necks.
And listen, and they love to target the righteous. Let me tell you that. Oh, they love to prey upon the innocent. That's, brothers and sisters, that's their custom. See, if you didn't know, this is why we have to understand. Most people don't realize that's their custom. Like most people, they going in, they thinking, hey, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm going in and you know, I'm gonna deck the halls here. Not realizing at the top, somebody, brothers and sisters, blood is being shed. See, they'll give you the minimal version of the holiday. But they're not giving you the full-fledged, clear picture of what the holiday is. They're not going back and saying, well, look, based off the God that we serve on this particular day, this is what this God requires. We just want you in your full spirit to get behind it. Okay? So brothers and sisters, you're guilty by association at this point, complicit by ignorance. Read.
Verse 61. And they hanged the infants about their necks, and rifled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them. Verse 62. Howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing.
Any unclean thing, right? Because why? That was our custom, right? Like, why would something unclean be associated with a holiday? Christmas ham. No, sir. But you have to realize, brothers and sisters, they know how, listen, they've studied us. They know how we operate, the way we move, and everything else. Go ahead.
Verse 63. Wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not defile with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died. And there was a very great wrath upon Israel.
Upon Israel, right? Now, we're going back to the correlation, right? We're in Maccabees, and then we're jumping back to the curses in Deuteronomy 28. So we're going to what happened in the Maccabean area, and then we're jumping back to the curses, right? So now we're in Deuteronomy 28 and 32, right? Check it out now. Let's see what it's saying here. Deuteronomy 28 and 32.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Read.
And thy eyes shall look and fall with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thy hand.
Exactly, because see, we must not sacrifice our children or give our children unto Molech. Because if you teach kids the right way, they don't want these pagan holidays. Okay? That's why I'm so thankful, brothers and sisters, for the I Am Royal Academy. Because you have a bunch of children and students and young adults that are willing to stand on what? The beliefs of the Most High, and stand on what's right concerning the Most High God. And if you let the children tell it, as they say that this is for the children, if you let the children tell it, they'll be the first ones to say, no, I'm not doing no Christmas. Matter of fact, listen, you better not bring no Christmas tree around them. They might violate. Because to them, growing up in the truth and understanding what it is concerning the holy days, that's foreign to them. And listen, really outlandish, outrageous. Okay, I wish I would go to my children. Hey, they're going to be like, Dad, we got to put you away. You talk about a Christmas tree. We got to put you away. You done lost it. They're not going to turn around and be like, oh, this is what we always wanted. I always wanted a Christmas. No. And that's why, brothers and sisters, when you look at these gods, they focus on child sacrifice. They focus on giving up the children. Because they know if they can program the youth at a particular age, it's all over when they become adults. To some degree, they're still tampered with. It's like us coming out of our programming. To some degree, brothers and sisters, like I said, and I don't care how strong you are. I don't care how long you've been in the truth. I don't care what it is. That Christmas jingle come on, you'll just find yourself, higher. Because you've grown up being a pagan for so long. And they knew how to attack the youth. They knew that. See? So this is why it's key. It says, thy sons and daughters shall be given to another people. Why? What people? The pagans. That's a curse. And I'm going to tell you, these scriptures are manifold. You can hit them on many angles, but the angle that this is why we're taking the teaching and education. Even the program that the elders are putting together, the Maccabee program and the Young Sarah program. Because brothers and sisters, we're not going to leave the young men and young adults, even the aged men, we're not going to leave them out either. Or the sisters. Getting back to etiquette and staples and cooking. And respect of families and doing all the things that are lost within following pagan rule. Excuse me. Verse
33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thy eyes, which thou shalt see. The Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed.
Now hold that, and let's jump down to Deuteronomy 28 and 65, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 65, because we know that disease is part of the Most High punishing us for our disobedience, right? But let's get right to it. Deuteronomy 28 and 65. Go ahead.
Among these nations shalt thou find no ease.
Shalt thou find no ease, right? Meaning that it's going to be difficult living. Hard living. See? Where you don't have, brothers and sisters, the luxury that some of the CEOs and the children of CEOs have. You don't have the luxury of the Gates family. You don't have the luxury, okay, of the Jobs family. You don't have the luxury of the Tesla family. Where if you feel like working today, you could, or if you don't never want to work another day in your life, you don't have to. See, it's written of within our scriptures, given the plight of the people. Letting you know full well who God's chosen people are. It's clear and evident. It says, and amongst these nations thou shalt find no ease. Go ahead.
Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest.
Exactly, because brothers and sisters, even when you look at our athletes, our celebrities, see what they did was, brothers and sisters, they allowed, this is the catch-22 and the sleight of hand. to make you seem like, remember, it said that the adversaries, they speak smooth with us. They speak diplomatic to make us believe that they're actually helping us. So you look at these people in the NFL, NBA. They give the contracts to the young men. Coming out of high school, coming out of college. By 30, they're done. So what do they do between 30 and even the time that they receive full retirement from the NFL? Or the time between then, they have to, listen, only those that are wise know how to pivot. But if you look at the studies show that most of them are broke by the time, like, listen, you got athletes right now on YouTube. I forget what the young man's name is. But he on there right now showing how, listen, he went from the league to the projects. Huh? Sebastian Telfair. And Sebastian Telfair could ball. But he's showing, you could go look him up on YouTube. He's showing EBT, he's showing all types. He's showing from the league back to the PJs. And then you realize or wonder why they won't let a 30-year-old man get a brand new contract in the league. Because they know if a man of age is at a certain level, he's going to take that and listen, even if he get a smaller contract, he's going to take that and make generational wealth with it. So what do? They give a contract to a young man so he can blow it. It have jewels on his neck and in his mouth, looking like thuggies, to the point where none of that stuff matters when it's all over. But you know what? You know what the world can show you? The world can show you that I gave him an opportunity. You can't tell me that this isn't the land of opportunity. You can't tell. See, it's sleight of hand, brothers and sisters. It's sleight of hand. And not only, brothers and sisters, do they have to do that, but sometimes they got to pay the ultimate price. They got to put their bodies on the line. Guess what? I bet you Tesla's kids and all that, they don't got to worry about putting their body on the line. They just sitting somewhere dealing with whatever deviance they're dealing with and still inherit the riches. Brothers and sisters, listen, we better wake up and see what this thing is. This is why the world is the way it is. And why we must understand every year, from year to year, to rekindle that flame and rededicate ourselves. Because the only hope that you have for a kingdom, for riches, is Christ. That's it. Because if you think, brothers and sisters, without you being complicit to a certain degree, that you're not going to have these particular issues in some degree that we're reading, you're misinformed. Read.
The middle of verse 65. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart.
See, that's that fear. And see, brothers and sisters, that's a curse. Even if you sit and tell somebody, listen, questions were answered when last week with the visit. Hey, what should we do? What should we do? How can we pivot? I'm doing this job. I'm working on here. And leadership, the elders and all that are minding everybody to make sure that you have a serious backup plan. And begin to transition. Your backup plan should begin to work to be your major plan. Because, brothers and sisters, if we think that this world is going to sustain us, you have another thing coming. Read.
But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. Verse 66. And thy life shall hang in doubt before.
And thy life shall hang in doubt, living from one day to the next. Read.
Before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life.
Exactly. See? Now, why do we go through these things? Let's go to the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. Why do we go through these things? Why is it thus? Why does it happen this way? Okay. Sin weakens us. But here it is right here. Hosea 4 and 6. This is what happens. Read.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Because, brothers and sisters, when a word comes to our people, we begin to be stiff-necked. Even, brothers and sisters, when we reach a certain understanding and a plateau, we still become stiff-necked. When not understanding, this is the direction of the Most High. Right? My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Read.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
That's it. Go ahead.
That thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of my God. And I will also forget thy children.
Forget thy who?
Children.
Come on.
As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore, I will change their glory into shame.
And this is why it says in the commandments that the Most High will show mercy unto thousands of them that love him and keep his commandments. But he'll be angry to the third and fourth generation of those that disobey him. Because, listen, what's a greater tool to understand? Now, I need y'all to follow this and understand this concept. What's a greater tool to understand? You suffering, because sometimes when you go through things, you're like, okay, well, I'm just going through it. It's no big deal. I can deal with it. But when you turn around and see your children and your grandchildren suffering the same things that you suffer, if not worse, that should be a clear indicator that something is wrong. See? My child, oh man, they should get married, and the only people that they ever known in life should be their husband or their wife, vice versa. Well, if you see that in a family, brothers and sisters, and you have the next generation below you, and that didn't happen, brothers and sisters, we got work to do. See? Because the more we begin to separate from this world and teach our children that ancient thing, that thing that was a staple, the world will become better and we'll be blessed as a people. See? Now, back to the book of Maccabees, 1 Maccabees chapter 2, verse 1. Right? Almost finished. Go ahead. In
those days arose Matthias, the son of John, the son of Simon, a priest of the sons of Jerib, from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Morden. And he had 5 sons, Joniah, called Gaddis, Simeon, called Thesses, Judas, who was called Maccabeus.
Go ahead.
Eleazar, called Havan, and Jonathan, whose surname was Apis. And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and in Jerusalem, he said, Woe is me.
He said, Woe is me. Read.
Wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there, when it was delivered into the hands of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hands of strangers. Her temples is become as a man without glory. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets. Her young men with the sword of the enemy. What nation have not had part in her kingdom and gotten her spoils? All her ornaments are taken away. Of a free woman she is become a bondslave.
Looking at the nation or status of our people once we start to give into the ways of the Gentiles. We become perpetual slaves. We become less than who we're supposed to be. See? Now realizing, brothers and sisters, that if you take the knowledge that the Most High has given you, that you're learning within this church, you should be the top in any place that you should ascend to the top any place that you're at. I'm going to tell you that. Because these principles in following Christ, this works everywhere. I'm going to tell you, brothers, anywhere I go, that's like, I forget where we used. Oh, we were coming out, we were getting the stuff for the Sabbath, leaving before the sun went down, getting the briskets. Okay? It's just random people. I'm walking out, and the guy at the door, he ain't touched nobody. He over there, he see me, he put his hand out, he like, give me a pound. And Kayla's looking at me, and I'm like, yeah. In the spirit, there's a respect. There's a respect there. Because I'm going to tell you, brothers and sisters, when you walk in a certain majesty, in a certain spirit, brothers and sisters, you do have favor with the Most High. Okay? You might get that little extra thing here or that little extra here, or somebody might go the extra way. To my daughters, to my children, when they go somewhere, even if we do occasionally go to a restaurant, you know what they always say? They're like, man, the service was so nice here. The people were so nice. But they don't realize that that's not normal to the world. That people go places and they get bad service. But there's a difference. When you walk into a place, brothers and sisters, you have to walk in with the Spirit of the Almighty. And the outcome is different. It's a whole different vibe. So anytime I go somewhere, I go with the intent of having a good experience because I'm putting on Christ. So here we go. We're talking in the time of Judas Maccabeus. He's looking and he's like, listen, the status of our people, Lord, have mercy. Read.
Verse 12. And behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty of our glory is laid waste, and the Gentiles have profaned it. To what end, therefore, shall we live any longer? Verse 13. To what end, therefore, shall we live any longer?
Verse 14.
Verse 14. And Matthias and his sons rent their clothes and put on sackcloth and mourned very sore.
And mourned very sore. Why? Because they seen the status of our people and how we were moving and operating in that time. Right? First Maccabees 2:15. Go ahead.
In the meanwhile, the king officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city of Morden to make them sacrifice. And when many of Israel came unto them, Matthias also and his sons came together, and answered the king's officers, and said to Matthias, on this wise, thou art a ruler, and has an honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren. Now therefore come thou first, and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done.
Go ahead.
Yea, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain in Jerusalem. So shalt thou in thy house be in the number of the king's friends, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold, and many rewards.
Read.
And Matthias answered and spoke with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's command, under the king's dominion, obey him, and fall everyone from the religion of their fathers, give consent to the commandments. Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers.
That's what type of time we got to be on. Though this world is doing whatever and consenting to this and consenting what the rule is, I'm going to consent to the will and way of my fathers that were past, that were in righteousness. I'm not doing this. There is no compromising. Going forward, we're going to celebrate the holy days. We're going to honor the Most High in the time that it's appointed. Go ahead. Yet
will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. We would not hearken unto the king's words to go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left. Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all the sacrifice on the altar, which was at Morden, according to the king's commandment. Which thing when Matthias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his rings trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to the judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar.
And slew him upon the altar. He couldn't stand it no more. It was so inciting to him at the time that he just couldn't control himself any longer and had to do and make some type of an end of this wickedness. Read.
Verse 25. Also the king commissioners who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down, and dwelt in his zealously for the law of God, like as Phinehas did unto Zimri, the son of Salam.
Yeah, just like Phinehas did when there was a plague in Israel and all types of fornication, wickedness, and debauchery, and he took that javelin and threw it through the tent. Well, you can compare that situation just like this one. He was like, nah, I can't take it no more. I got it. Listen, righteousness must be done. First Maccabees 2:27. Go ahead.
Matthias cried without the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city.
When you're persecuted in one city, flee into the next. Nothing, brothers and sisters, that we read in history won't be done in our time. This already, brothers and sisters, this is the blueprint that already happened. When you're persecuted in one city, flee into the next. Why? Because eventually, brothers and sisters, you're going to have to move to be protected. Read.
Verse 29. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there, both they and their children and their wives and their cattle, because of the affliction increased sore upon them. Now when it was told the king's servants that the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David, that a certain man who had broken the king's commandment were gone down into the secret place in the wilderness, they pursued after them a great number.
Doesn't this sound familiar? If you go read Exodus, the same thing happened when the children of Israel woke up to who their God was and began to deal with their customs, and then Pharaoh began to see, brothers and sisters, this is what, how could you say this isn't the truth? Because it's happened historically time and time again. I don't care if one doesn't read the Bible or one doesn't believe the Bible. You can't tell me that the Exodus in Egypt never happened. You can't tell me that this time that's written in history books, the time of Judas Maccabeus, the time of the Maccabees, all this that we're reading never happened. But eerily similar, the same events are happening. God's people are now coming back to their heritage, realizing who they are, and the government or the adversaries or enemy now begin to pursue, to look to do them in. Read.
Verse 32, they pursue after them a great number, and having over them and have overtaken them, they camp against them and made war against them on the Sabbath day.
On the when?
On the Sabbath day.
On the when?
On the Sabbath day.
Pray that your flight be in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. Brothers and sisters, do you understand? This is why it's key for us to gather together, especially on the Sabbath day. Christ was giving us keys. Christ was giving us understanding of his coming. Christ was giving us understanding of the siege that would come, the battle of Armageddon that would pursue. Because most of the time when they do things, brothers and sisters, they do things on the Sabbath. They write legislation on the Sabbath. So could you imagine, brothers and sisters, they say, oh, it's a this and that happened, this global event, everybody stay in their homes, do this. You know where you'll be? Right here. See? Then you won't have to worry about what are the plans, where are we going? What's the next phase? What's going on, Elder? Bishop, what's going on? Because you're right there. Christ gave you keys. Because you're reading right here right when they begin to besiege and start their mess globally, or at this time within their region and government, they begin to engage on the Sabbath day. They could have did this any other day of the week. Read.
Verse 33. And they said unto them, let us which ye have done hereunto suffice. Come forth and do according to the commandment of the king, and ye shall live. But they said, we will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day. So then they gave them the battle with all speed. Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stopped up the place where they had hid, but said, let us die all in our iniquity. Heaven and earth shall testify for us that ye put us to death wrongfully.
So do what you want with us. Okay, fine, you got us cornered. All right. But you know what? I'm willing to put my life on the line for what I believe in. See? Read.
Verse 38. So they rose up against them in battle on the Sabbath, and they slew them with their wives and children and their cattle, to the number of 1,000 people. And Matthias and his friends understood hereof, and mourned for the right sore. And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not our lives in the law against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth.
See, now here was a lesson learned. Here was a lesson learned. And this is why, brothers and sisters, yet again, we have this Maccabee program and things like that, because it's not just going to be precept, but it's going to be fitness and exercise and all types of other things. Because, brothers and sisters, all of us, you have to be fit for the battle. This was a lesson learned. He said, if we do like our brothers and we just stand pat, and yes, they will be avenged by the Most High through Christ. But if we just stand pat and we do absolutely nothing, Israel won't be anymore. That's why the Bible says, therefore first I send you as fishers. Then after that, hunters. Because there comes a time where you're going to have to, you got to defend. But we're not at that time. But you must prepare. Okay. Read.
Verse 41. At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on a Sabbath day, we will fight against him. Neither will we die all, as our brethren that were murdered in the secret places.
In the secret places, come on.
Then came there unto him a company of the Assyrians, who were mighty men of Israel, even all such as were voluntarily devoted unto the law. Also all they that fled for persecution joined themselves unto them, and were stayed unto them.
Exactly. And see, I made that point before about gathering together, because brothers and sisters, if it would all go down and the world would end, if I'm a rumble, I want to rumble back to back with my brothers and sisters. Mm-hmm. See? I don't want to, nah. Listen, this ain't no Rambo stories and things where you go in and it's one man. Listen, no. You don't need a lot, but you need a few. But brothers and sisters, this is why the Most High says to gather together. So not only can we fear the Most High, understand his law, statutes, commandments, save our families, but that we can actually protect each other and be there for each other. See? Read.
Verse 44. So they joined their forces and smote sinful men in their anger, and wicked men in their wrath. But the rest fled into the heathen for succor.
And wait, you know, I'm gonna say this. You see this, Deacon? This is why it's so important not to be fooled by the distractions. They'll cause somebody within Israel amongst each other to be offended amongst us, not realizing the enemy is getting ready to mount up an attack. If brothers and sisters, if we could be offended and fight amongst each other, we don't stand a chance against the enemy. If I can look at you like you evil, or you can look at me like I'm evil, brothers and sisters, when the enemy fully come, we don't stand a chance. No one man or one sister can do this thing on their own. It don't work that way. Read.
Verse 45. Then Matthias and his friends went round about and pulled down the altars. And when the children soever they found within the coast of Israel uncircumcised, they circumcised valiantly. They pursued also after the proud men, and the works prospered in their hands.
Verse 48.
Verse 48. So they recovered the law out of the hand of the Gentiles, out of the hand of the kings. Neither suffered they the sinful to triumph.
So they were on a mission. So what was the first thing they did? They said they went and they circumcised. That means, listen, they got themselves together first. They got themselves together first. It's like, hold up, whatever things we got wrong with us, spiritually or otherwise, we need to fix right now. Let's get it all together amongst each other, because we got to get ready for this battle. So we have to be right. And once that happens, you're able to organize, move as a unit, and do great things concerning the Most High. Go ahead.
Verse 49. Now when the time drew near that Matthias should die, he said unto his sons, now have pride and rebuke gotten strength in a time of destruction, in the wrath of indignation. Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law, and give your lives for the covenant of our fathers.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time, so shall ye receive great honor and everlasting name. Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness? Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt.
Now, that was a key point, because he was faithful. And notice, the same thing happened to the 3 Hebrew boys. They were put in prison. They were put in a fiery furnace. But then because they were faithful to the Most High, they ended up being high governmental officials. See, to show you, brothers and sisters, the Most High can move in all categories. So you never know. There might be somebody that the Most High is using within a particular area. But you must be mindful of the whole structure. But brothers and sisters, there are certain individuals the Most High does work with, like it was at those times. See? So when we talk about, brothers and sisters, when we talk about things as teachers, generally we're teaching because as it'll be as a general. But keep in mind, there's always going to be individuals here or individuals there within these structures, celebrity or government or wherever that may fear the Most High. You may be surprised in the end who make it out to the wilderness. You may be surprised. But nonetheless, brothers and sisters, we have to understand and call out these agencies that are under Satan. Because if you talk about these people that are in these agencies that are under Satan, that actually fear the Most High, they'll be the first one to tell you, I know, I see it daily. And the reason why I'm here is because somebody righteous has to be here. I'm going to tell you that. Because we have plenty of people in our church. We have people that have been athletes. We have people that have been entertainers. We have people that are currently in different situations. And guess what? They're good people. We have brothers and sisters that work in hospitals. Well, we know a lot of these doctors are sorcerers, but guess what? They're good people that you may run across that fear the Most High, that may be there to turn the tide for a situation where somebody may need you. And that's why they're there. See? So I don't want us to miss the point. And I'm saying that especially for those that are fairly new. Because you'll see doctors, hospitals, you'll hear this, you'll hear that, you'll hear entertainment, and you'll think everything is wicked, everything is bad. When that's certainly not the case. Or you might hear the fact that we're saying, yeah, the Most High is working. And yes, he's working in this church. But he's working with others too, all over the earth. Okay, there are many people that comes to this broadcast and watch these broadcasts that are following this church. Go ahead.
Verse 54. Phineas, our father, in being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant of an everlasting priesthood. Jesus, for fulfilling the word, was made a judge in Israel.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Caleb, for bearing witness before the congregation, received inheritance of the land.
Go ahead.
David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom. Elias, for being zealous for the law, was taken up into heaven. Ananias, Zacharias, and Mishael, by believing, were saved out of the flame. Daniel, for his inconsistencies, was delivered from the mouth of lions. And thus consider ye throughout all ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome.
Go ahead.
Fear not then the words of the sinful man, for the glory shall be dung and worms. Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found, because he is returned into dust, and his thoughts is come to nothing. Wherefore, ye, my sons, be vigilant, and show yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for by it shall ye obtain glory.
Go ahead.
And behold, I know that your brother Simeon is a man of counsel. Give ear unto him always. He shall be your father unto. As for Judas Maccabeus, he have been mighty and strong, even from his youth up. Let him be your captain, and fight the battle of the people. Take also unto you all those that observe the law, and avenge ye the wrong of your people.
Read.
Verse 68. Recompense fully the heathen, and take heed to the commandment of the law. So he blessed them, and was gathered to his fathers. Verse 70. And he died in 146th year, and his sons buried him in the sepulchre of his fathers at Morden. And all of Israel made great lamentation for him.
So notice, right, and I said this before, right, as we begin to get ready and close this thing out, this is a key. Let's turn to Romans 12:1 real quick. The book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 1. Because, brothers and sisters, this is what they're after. And this is what the Feast of Dedication is about. Romans 12:1. Go ahead.
I beseech you, therefore, brethren,
That what?
by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies as a living sacrifice.
Brothers and sisters, it's about you. We don't realize this world, this whole thing, it's a struggle to gain the people. One way or the other. They're trying to poison and darken the people. The Most High is showing his light and shedding abroad and trying to bring them into the truth. We must present our bodies as of a living sacrifice. Right? Speaking of a living sacrifice, let's finish these records, right? 1 Maccabees chapter 4. Right? 1 Maccabees 4:1. Go ahead.
This Simon now, of whom we speak afore, having been bewarer of the money.
Yep. Read right there. 1 Maccabees 4:1.
1 Maccabees 4:1. Then took Gorgas 5,000 footmen and 1,000 of best horsemen, and removed out of the camp by night, to the end he might rush in upon the camp of the Jews and smite them suddenly. And the men of the fortress were his guides. Now when Judas heard thereof, he himself removed, and the vigilant men with him, that he might smite the king's army which was at Emmaus, while as yet the forces were dispersed from the camp. In the mean season came Gorgas by night into the camp of Judas, and when he had found no man there, he sought them in the mountains, for he said, These fellows flee from us.
Go ahead.
Verse 6. But as soon as it was day, Judas showed himself in the plain with 3,000 men, who nevertheless had neither armor nor swords in their hands. Verse 7. And they saw the camp of the heathen, that it was strong and well harnessed, and compassed round about with horsemen, and these were experts of war. Then said Judas to the men that were with him, Fear ye not their multitude, neither be afraid of their assault. Remember how our fathers were delivered in the Red Sea, when Pharaoh pursued them with the army. Now therefore, let us cry unto heaven, and peradventure the Lord will have mercy upon us, and remember the covenant of our fathers, and destroy his hosts before our faces this day.
Right, go ahead.
That so all the heathen may know that there is one who delivered and saved Israel. Then the strangers lift up their eyes and saw them coming against them. Verse 13. Wherefore they went out of the camp to battle, but they that were with Judas sounded the trumpet. So they joined battle, and the heathen being discomfort, fled into the plain. Verse 15. Howbeit all the hindermost parts of them were slain in the sword, with the sword, for they pursued them in Gazerah, and unto the plains of Idumea, and Asaroas, and Jemna, so that there was slain upon 3,000 men. Verse 16. This done, Judas returned again with his host from pursuing them, and said to the people, Be not greedy of the spoil, insomuch as there is in a battle before us. And Gorgas, his hosts, are here by us in the mountains. But stand ye now against the enemies, and overcome them, and after this ye may boldly take the spoils. Verse 19. As Judas was yet speaking these words, there appeared a part of them looking out of the mountain, who when they perceived that the Jews had put their hosts to flight, and were burning the tents, for the smoke that was seen declared that was done. When therefore they perceived these things, they were sore afraid, and seeing also the host of Judas in the plain ready to fight.
Ready to what?
Ready to fight.
Now, let me tell you, brothers and sisters, the one thing they fear. Let me tell you what they fear, brothers and sisters. They fear when we get together in times like this, even though we're singing, with the Spirit of the Almighty being together, they fear when Israel's together. You know when they don't fear? They don't fear, brothers and sisters, when we're arguing amongst each other. They don't fear when we're infighting amongst each other, when we have a slander towards one another. They don't fear then. But brothers and sisters, when they see positivity and they see the nation of Israel moving together as a unit, brothers and sisters, the Gentiles shake in their boots. Because what that means. This is why, brothers and sisters, we have to take things into our own hands. What do I mean into our own hands? We have to start learning things that we have never learned before. How to homestead. I talked about making mayo, right? Something as simple as that, brothers and sisters. But listen, I don't need to depend on Hellman's or Sir Kensington or any other going forward. It's never happening. Because what I made was better than that anyway. My family tasted it. We looked together and was like, why this don't got no aftertaste? Why this don't seem weird? What's going on with this? We're doing this with organic, cage-free, raised eggs from our own people, from my family. Brothers and sisters, we have to start taking things amongst the nation and coming together, knowing that we're all we have. See, it was the same thing that they realized here in this time when they started sending up smoke signals and realizing that they're not going to run anymore. They're not scared anymore. But these people are willing to stand not just for the Most High, but with each other. Brothers and sisters, we know how this story ends. It ends with the candlestick. It ends with low resources of oil, but yet and still it lasted all the days of the feast. What is that telling you? That's telling you the same thing about this battle. We were outnumbered. We were outmanned, outweaponed. But because we had the faith of the Most High, we were able to win that battle. And it didn't take a lot. That's right. It didn't take a lot. It took the few. It took the faithful. And I'm going to tell you, brothers, many come and many go. But count yourself amongst the faithful brothers and sisters that stayed. Right? That's right. When it comes to the next phase of this thing, brothers and sisters, us here personally, those that are online, we have to make sure that not only are we studying the word and being in our classes, but we're preparing to defend each other if need be. The time is coming, just like it was then, where, like the scripture says, the time will come when there's an insurrection on many, and they'll be spoiling the righteous like madmen. Right? We're going to end it here. We're going to go back to Deuteronomy. So we're in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. We're going to start at verse 1, and then we're going to skip to verse 7. So we're in Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. Right? Read it.
It shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, and to observe to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
See, now we understand how those 3 Hebrew boys could be top officials, even though they were in prison first. Because they stayed faithful to the God that made them, and they began to be over all nations of the earth. They were able to rule. Well, brothers and sisters, you don't know where your faithfulness will take you. But the key is, brothers and sisters, you must be faithful. Because the Most High promise, it says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. Verse 7.
Verse 7. The Lord shall cause thy enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways.
Because, brothers and sisters, when we actually put up a unified front, nothing can affect us. When we have the angels and we're together and we're there lock in step, brothers and sisters, there's not an enemy that can pursue and overtake us. Right? Verse 8.
The Lord shall command the blessing upon thy storehouses.
Wait, hold up. Thy what?
Thy storehouses.
Brothers and sisters, there is a platinum lining, not a silver lining, not a gold, a platinum lining. Because how did we leave Egypt? With much substance. We didn't leave broke. See, those that understand and know how to prepare and what steps to make, brothers and sisters, the Most High will increase the work of your hands. What do you think the brothers is doing? What do you think the elders are doing? What do you when you see the broadcast on Tuesdays and Thursdays and all that, and you see Elder Ariel working, you see the different elders doing this and that. Salute to those men. But guess what? That's a work of their hands. When they look and they know how to sustain and be there and have resources for their family and know how to live off the earth, that's the ultimate come up. And that's not a come up that you get just by something being handed to you. That's by working. It's like Paul said, if you have faith, he's like, I'll show you my faith by my works. Brothers and sisters, we're now entering into this feast of dedication. And obviously we're going to celebrate this evening. We got to get together throughout in the midst of the week, right? We're just going to celebrate and sing and bring songs in. Then we got next Shabbat ending it out. But brothers and sisters, when these holy days come in, it's important that we realize and understand our culture and our heritage and what's righteous according to this nation. And remember those things and celebrate them in their appointed time, in their seasons, and actually do the due diligence. And why am I saying that? Because when we were in the world, and we knew it was Christmas Day. It was Christmas Eve. We got excited. The anticipation came in. Then Christmas Day came in. And then we opened up the gifts. And we had fun with family. And then we rested. And then we had more respite up until January the 1st. Well, brothers and sisters, remember the energy we put into celebrating a no God. How much more energy should we put in to celebrating knowing that we're serving the God of all gods? I'm going to tell you, brothers and sisters, don't take these days light. Don't take these feast days light. Because, brothers and sisters, you have brothers, women, children, families on this very same time that fought and gave their lives to be able to worship and just sit in a building like you all are sitting today. Can you imagine? See, we think about Christ, and Christ he's the author and finisher of our faith. He's the Savior. He's done it all for us. But we also must remember, brothers and sisters, the brothers and sisters that paved the way to allow us to get to this point. If the Maccabees didn't put up a good front, we wouldn't be able to do this today. If that never happened and they never stood up for the Most High, the Romans and the Grecians and all those would have overrun our people, and we would have been no more like their vow. We would be no more in remembrance. I need y'all to think about that. Because that was the plight. And when they couldn't do that and we rallied together, then they had to move to the next phase. They had to move to the soft kills. Poison in the water. GMO food. Perversion in the internet. Wickedness and unchastity here. Listen, everything that they're doing, brothers and sisters, is to do in the children of Israel. And this is why I make this day so much of a day to celebrate, because, brothers and sisters, we got to stand tall and say, listen, you can't have my children, you can't have my family, and you can't have me. With that, brothers and sisters, I give all praise and honor to the Most High God, Ahaya, in the name of his dear son, Yeshua HaMashiach. That's right. Beautiful, beautiful brothers and sisters online. I just want to remind you of a few things, right? As I stated, for all of you that came in, a little bit in the midst of the lesson, right? We have a new Hebrew and Bible Academy, and it starts Sunday, December the 14th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? The theme of this academy is Beyond 2025, Hope After Armageddon. And we talked about it a lot today because it's coming. Some of the lessons you'll be receiving, brothers and sisters, how Israel prepared to leave Egypt in the wilderness, and how the Israelites lost Jerusalem, an in-depth look of Josephus. Ishmael, the silent enemy of the Israelites. That's deep. The Jews, an in-depth lesson on the synagogue of Satan and AI technology in the days of Noah. Also, very important, brothers and sisters. This evening, today is not the only broadcast that's going on today. Okay? Let me tell you, you are in for a treat. The elders will be live from the West Coast. So we're celebrating the Feast of Dedication throughout the four corners of the earth. The elders will be live this evening between 5 and 6. So if you're at home, get you a nice Sabbath meal in, get you something to eat, get you something to drink, and brothers and sisters, join us back when we go live on the broadcast from the West Coast with the elders celebrating the Feast of Dedication. Brothers and sisters, until then, right, be blessed, and we'll all meet each other one day, if not at the Passover, the wilderness.